This is all the way. You don't have to stand there. This nigga that interrupted my video. Excuse my language. Okay. You need an email. That's your point of communication. Okay? I shouldn't even have to say that, but like, I don't know how much I do or don't know. You need a recruiter. A recruiter is somebody that is going to help you get a job while you're not working, while you're sleeping, well, maybe not while you're sleeping, because their job is to be a recruiter. They work a 9 to 5 too, but it's free. An email is free. You need an email address. You need a recruiter in order to get a job. What you need in order to get a recruiter is a resume. Now, a lot of y'all already got that. I mean, some of y'all got that. Now, I'm not going to say you don't need to change what you got, because some of y'all need to change what you got. I done seen a lot of niggas' resume. Hey, I ain't judging you. But you going to have to make your resume. Bro, let's not even worry about that. If you got a resume, as long as it looks neat, there's no get away with all the grammatical errors, okay? Have your name on it, have your education service or whatever, education, then your experience. If you ain't got no experience, make it up. No, I'm playing. But if you ain't got no experience, you got something. Look at something in your life. I don't think it's likely that you've lived your whole life and never worked anywhere. I don't think that's likely. But I don't know who I'm talking to. Some of y'all niggas, y'all been leeching your whole life. If you ain't got no experience, point to something in your life that you have done and make it sound articulate and put it on your resume, okay? You got your name, you got your education. Hopefully you graduated high school. If you didn't graduate high school, that's okay. Put the hours that you worked. Put the hours of high school that you had. Say, I don't know, I had 37 hours a week of secondary education. I don't know. I don't know. But put your high school education or non-high school education, and then put your experience. That's it. That's as far as I'm gonna go. Go online, look at in order to get to where you need to be, look at other people's resumes, okay? You got to look at it's a simple Google search, okay? You niggas can get on Instagram, you can get on Twitter, you can get on all them other platforms. Do a Google search, a normal Google search, okay? Use your phone, type in resume appearance, or type in, something, be creative, nigga. What does this resume need to look like in order to get a job, okay? Or type in professional resume. I'm giving y'all a game. Hope y'all listen to it, okay? After you get that, we're done with the resume for now. We'll come back to that if you don't understand. A recruiter is so important. I did not have a job after I came out of high school. I did everything you guys did. I went to the website online and I submitted my resume. And by the way, my resume looks good, but that's besides the point. I went to the resume online. I submitted my resume online, filled out the applications online like you usually do. I put on a suit and I went into a lot of different businesses. I went everywhere, bro. I was everywhere, and I was just not getting nothing back. My mom works for the Gov. I was asking her to get me a Gov. It wasn't working, okay? I had a degree and I was out without a job for the first 4 months. For the first 4 to 5 months after I graduated. I got a degree. A black nigga, a black man with a degree. I got a degree and I was not getting nothing. And a lot of times it's not your fault. Sometimes the algorithm ain't correct, or think about it. Everybody's applying. Everyone's applying. Everyone's applying on the website. Everybody does this. Hey, let me get my resume right. Let me put it online. No, everybody's doing that. Everyone. This is why if you get a recruiter, these recruiters have connections to the company. They got connections to the job, and they can get you in the door that you can't get yourself into. Matter of fact, some of these recruiters, they'll have you take a test, an Excel test, a Microsoft test, a PowerPoint. You got to do this to onboard, get your information in there, put your credit card information in there for you when you get direct deposit. They'll talk to you about what kind of jobs you want, what kind of industries you want to work in, what skills you have and don't have. And then they'll look for a job for you. This is all for free, nigga. Email. Email, you need a resume, and you need a recruiter, okay? After you get you a recruiter, don't stop looking, because I know a lot of y'all might do that. Y'all be like, all right, I did what Michael said. I got a recruiter now. No, you ain't got a job yet, though, nigga. you ain't employed yet, okay? After you get a recruiter, get you another recruiter, okay? All you got to do to get a recruiter, okay? You need to go to, it's really simple. It's really simple, nigga. It's really simple. Recruiter. That's it. Type in recruiter on Google. Type in recruiter online, okay? Type in recruiting agency, okay? You go to the website and then you scroll all the way down. You don't even look at the website. You go to the website and you scroll down, all the way down, and it'll say submit resume. There you go. There you go. Submit your resume onto a recruiting agency's website, okay? I'm putting y'all on game here. I really like I'm tired. Like, I don't think y'all, like, I probably should have started this video a little bit differently, because I should have told you why this works, but I didn't want to talk about myself before I gave you the advice. I didn't want to wait 5 to 7 minutes into the video before you heard what you have to do to get a job. Okay. So I'll tell you. Didn't have a job after high school. I got a degree in international studies. Didn't have a job after college. Okay. I have my GED. I have my bachelor's degree in international studies, concentration in international business, and minored in Spanish. So I got Spanish on my resume and stuff. That probably helps me out, but I just, that's not important. It don't matter. I got that degree. It means nothing when you're applying for jobs. I mean, like, there's a lot of jobs that might have looked at me, right, for my degree, but I have no experience. I got a degree now. I ain't got no experience. I got the education, but I ain't got no experience. Jobs want experience. They don't want. It's very rare that jobs actually are looking for entry-level people. An entry-level position is somebody who ain't got no experience. They're just entering the workforce. So, by the grace of God, I applied for months and finally got a job at Chemonics. Did an interview. They liked me. I got that job. I hated that job. I worked that job for a whole year. That was an international development firm. I hated that job. I still hate that job. I still hate that job. I worked that whole job for a whole year. Then I was coming in late to work, so I actually got, basically I was put on paid administrative leave. They put me on a corrective action plan. That's what it's called. And they said I got 45 days to get it together before they fire me or they take disciplinary action. But okay, that's besides the point. That is a point to know. When you get a job, you gotta perform. You can't just be like screwing up. Look, you can't just be screwing up. I'll tell you one quick story real quick. There was this guy that came into work every day. There's only one other black dude there. He came into work 45 minutes late, damn near every day. He came in fresh too, came in there with some Jordans. He was fresh, fresh as hell, excuse my language. He was fresh. Came in there 45 minutes too late to work every day in an environment, basically a lot of people didn't really, in corporate America, it's not very many young black males in there anyway. and you stick out. And he was coming into work late every day. He was doing his work. They needed him. He was doing his work. And but he stuck out every time, coming in 45 minutes to a dang near hour late. One day this man came in an hour and a half late during a meeting. And then the audacity of this nigga. He came in an hour and a half late on a meeting day and sat down at his desk like it was absolutely nothing. Absolutely, like, just completely unfazed. Okay? I'm like, brother, you can't do that. We don't even get some of these positions unless we're security, dog. We don't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even make it. Some of our sisters get in. You know, our sisters, black women actually is doing pretty well. Like, they can get in here. They're the people that, the bygones that be, I'll say people that run HR. A lot of time it is our sisters, but people above them, the senior level positions, mid-level positions, they'll tolerate our sisters because they're some of them are cute. They're intellectual. They got the education. You know, sister she got her degree. Her stuff is together. She's organized if she ain't anything. So they'll keep them around. But I'll speak personally for black men, and then I'll talk to everybody else. Especially for young black males, you're not safe even when you're doing the job correctly. You saw what happened to Barack Obama. He was the president. You don't think that type of obstruction is happening everywhere, where you doing your job good or great and people have a problem with you being there because they're intimidated by you? But that's a different story. Do the job, come there and do it correctly, okay? This brother came in there an hour and a half late and act like it's not even phased. Not even phased. In some Jordans, but he was the freshest person there. In some Jordans, in business gear. And not even phased. I'm like, brother, do you know you can't do that in corporate America? These folks will fire your black ass. You can't do that. And he kept on doing it. And you want to know, I was just in shock. I'm like, bruh, this is crazy. I mean, who would he's not accustomed to corporate America culture. And it was me. No, but seriously. The reality is, that was my first experience. I was an entry-level archivist. I didn't know what to do. Okay? Knock the camera over, hold on. I was an entry-level archivist. Okay? Showing up to work late. And in my defense, there is no defense, it's unexcusable. But in my defense, I didn't take too nice to feeling like I was the black kid of the environment. You know what I mean? I hated it. I really hated it. And they was about to fire my butt. So this is the second piece of advice I want to give you. When you get a job, as soon as you get a job, brothers, sisters, start looking for another job. As soon as you put your resume in and they say we're looking to hire you, and you go through the interview process, you get the job, you get the offer letter, and they're looking, they're onboarding you, you're coming in, they're slowly training you, they're shadowing you with other people. Put it all on your resume. This is experience. Put this experience on your resume. Okay. So that was my first job. After you get your experience on the resume. Oh, well, I meant to say this too. While you're at the job, look presentable. Y'all see how I'm looking right now? Sometimes you got to play the game. I know a lot of this. Don't come in there I'm going to speak to the young brothers, but I'm going to speak to everybody. Brothers, look presentable, look clean cut. Don't look like Unfortunately, you got to play the game a little bit. You see how I'm looking at all my beer and all that stuff right now? That's cool after you're hired, okay? Don't go to the interview looking like this, okay? After you're hired, bruh. After you're hired, then you can let the, excuse my language, you can let the nigga come out a little bit, okay? But not too much. I don't want you shouldn't be. Don't go to a meeting with your pants sagging, okay, brothers? Don't. That's a no. Don't do that, okay? Okay, you're good. I know I don't have to tell some of y'all, but some of y'all, then again, I do, okay? Come clean cut. You want a tie? You want a tie? A shirt? I don't have to tell you. Also, get a tie and a shirt, some nice khaki pants. I also want y'all to understand, don't look too nice. And I'll explain this real quick. Unfortunately, especially when it's speaking to black men, but everybody, when you look too nice in some of these environments, a lot of people that are already working there feel a little bit intimidated, okay? They feel, you can do this for the first couple weeks, but don't be coming in full-on suits to corporate America, look nice, look presentable, but it draws attention to yourself because a lot of these people, if somebody's working at the job, a lot of these people have already been working there for years. It's just a job to them. They've been there for years. They don't take this job. You happy you got a job, but some of these people that had this job for 7, 10, 15, 27 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're just coming to a typical Tuesday of work. You get what I'm saying? Then you see this nigga with the Versace. You know what I mean? He's got on Louis Vuitton pants. He's got on his belt. Oh God, he's got on a $200 belt. It's like, it sticks out, okay? That type of stuff you don't want to when you first, at least, and not until you get there and your job is secure, which it never is, but at least it's secure for a little bit. You don't want to stick out too much, okay? But you want to stick out enough if you're going to stay there for the long term to get promoted, but you don't want to stick out too much, okay? So back to me. Okay. I know this is a long video, but bro, stick in here. These are gems. I'm helping y'all out. I started in that international development firm, right? And then I started out in the international development firm, and then, like I said, they were about to fire me. They put me on a corrective action plan because of my performance, and I felt like my manager wasn't very helpful anyway. But I felt like a lot of them didn't want me there. Cool. Immediately when I started feeling that, I started looking for another job. Now, the point of this video is how to get a job. And I'm really going to discuss the years in which I didn't. After I would have a job, I'd have periods where I was out and unemployed for a while. So after I went through the international development firm, I had a recruiter that offered me a job. I was a financial support associate at Morgan Stanley. I was doing operations for Morgan Stanley. This is banking. This is an investment world. And this is why recruiters are important, because they can get you into those doors. I couldn't get this. I applied after I worked for the dang people. And they wouldn't, my resume wasn't hidden, okay? I was applying to this place after I've already worked for them and I couldn't get in. But because of a recruiter offered me a job, they were able to give me a temporary contract, okay? Now, you'll notice on my Instagram profile, it'll say investment banking or accounting. For those of y'all, I'm going to do another video about this, the investment banking and accounting world. But basically, I do contract work, and even my boss now is funny. She doesn't like that I go around calling myself an accountant. I love her to that. I just got done talking to her about it. But basically, I'm doing I don't have like a degree in this. I told you I started international studies. That's a liberal arts major. That's not a finance major. I don't have no experience in finance, but I got experience in finance without a degree by having a recruiter, which is why you need a recruiter. Get you a recruiter. Okay, so basically, I got a position for a 6-month contract, and this is what contractors are. Contractors, for those of you that don't know, contractors are basically people who have struggled getting a job on their own. They've struggled to get a job in the work field. They've struggled in the workforce, and they got a recruiter. They got a recruiter, and basically the recruiter got them a temporary job, or a temp to hire, meaning a temporary job with the intention to hire, or a full-time job for maybe 1 or 2 years, a contract for 1 or 2 years, okay? A contractor does work for companies that need it. They'll hire, a company might say, hey, dang, we're not really hiring right now, but we do need somebody to fill in this slot until we do hire permanently again. We'll make a contract with somebody in your recruiting pool. We'll make a contract with y'all to have this person hired with us for 3 months or 4 weeks. We'll pay him for 4 weeks, or pay her for 6 weeks to work for us, okay? I've had contracts for 2 weeks. I had no job for 2 weeks. They were paying me. And here's the thing about contract work. They will pay you. The guidelines or whatever in the contract, they'll say, boom, we'll pay him $15 an hour. We'll pay him $20 an hour. I've had one for, I don't know about 20, but close. But I've had some for 20, but they'll pay you $15 an hour, $20 an hour, $17 an hour for him to work from 8:30 to 5:30 for 5 days. I did one with a random construction company, and they paid me my money for working a 9 to 5. And the contract was for 2 weeks. Now, here's the thing about contract work. If the contract work, they're contracts that are temporary contracts and at-will contracts, meaning at will, it basically mean like, yo, I'm pay you and have you work here so long as I feel like it, and like that we can afford it, or that we want you here. Like, we can destroy this contract whenever, and that's happened to me. Okay, they hired me for 2 weeks, and I was in that nigga for excuse me. I'm saying the N word a lot because I'm just giving it to you straight. Like, this is struggle. Okay, this is. Look, I told you, I've never been poor before, but I've been broke as hell. My parents have been able to sustain me, but I've been broke these last few years. I done had so many contracts. They done paid me to work 2 weeks and ended my contract early, dog. They ended my contract early. I ended up only working there for a week in 3 days because if they don't need you or don't want to pay you anymore, they don't have to. And that's why a lot of people don't like to choose contract work like that, because they pay you the money up front with not that many benefits. You get basic benefits. They do give you can get, your recruiting agency can get you healthcare and all that stuff. But they give you basic benefits, and then it's the job security is not longevity. They can cut it off anytime they want. So that's contract work, right? And I've had a lot of contracts. So I went from an international development firm to contracting with Morgan Stanley, an investment bank, My contract with them was actually 6 months. Now, I'm explaining to you, I'm not going to get into details. I'll go into the experience with Morgan Stanley at a different time. But for the short period of time, I was a junior support associate at Morgan Stanley for 6 months, right? I worked well enough in that position for them to extend my contract. I worked for 6 months. I worked for them 6 months, got a contract extension for another 6 months. Now, usually they'll try to, after you work a contract, you try to get a full-time job at that place, but, that wasn't the case for me. After my 6 months, and I got the extension, for another 6 months. 2 weeks after I got that extension, I got laid off. Now, this is how this works. Watch this. No, it was because of the company. Morgan Stanley had 1,500 layoffs. They let go 1,500 people. Usually, and this is another downside of contract work, usually the contract, when a company is downsizing or making budget cuts, the contracts are the first to go. Mine was in that. They let go 1,500 people. It didn't matter that I got my extension. They let go of all those contracts. And this was 2 weeks before Christmas. 2 weeks before Christmas, I didn't have a job. That was now all this is like the first 1 or 2 years out of college. Okay? This is how this degree, you see what this degree is doing? This is what a degree does for you. It just because you got one don't mean you good. So, then, watch this. I'm getting let go. I'm unemployed at this point. Now, luckily, like I said, I'm not like a lot of y'all. I could live with my parents. I'm fine. I don't even really gotta, I'm paying very little rent. A lot of y'all don't have that situation, nigga. So you dodging a needle by a thread. I don't even know what that means, but you dodging, brother. You need to try all the alternatives, okay? So basically, let me get some chapstick. I'm sorry. My lips. Basically, got all this hair. Basically, I'm out. Unemployed, but luckily I can live with my parents. I got somebody to lean on. And if you're homeless, or you struggling like that, you might not have that. The best, I really don't even got no, the best, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know your situation, but the best thing I would do is the closest thing to heaven on earth in this world that is free is a library. Use that to your advantage. Free computers, all you gotta have is a library card. Building, they'll let you in for free. Just don't cause a ruckus. You can stay there during the daytime. It's a lot of times they're closed at night, so you're gonna have to find somewhere to duke it out during that. I'm sorry. But use the library while it's open. And they got phones there, I think. You could probably use a phone. They got printing costs, I think. The library's getting stingy, whatever. Use that library to your example. Get on the internet and get you a recruiter. Okay, so I'm out. I'm unemployed after my second job. Keep in mind, even though I got my parents as a safety net, it's kind of hard sometimes being at your parents' crib. Your parents, real talk, it's hard asking your parents to help you out. And the more and more you deem yourself unemployed and useless, they gonna let you hear it. It ain't really, honestly, you're not better off living homeless when you don't have a job. But trust me, living with your parents and struggling as an adult is also like a hell on earth. And I consider my parents nicer, but it wasn't easy. It changed our relationship. I looked at them differently the same way they looked at me. So I'm out for another 2 or 3 weeks. So like constantly you see the pattern here. Now this is contract work, but also this is just real. This is real work struggle. Graduated college, 4 months unemployed. Get a job for a year, don't do well in the job, hate that job, not welcome in that job. First job out of college, get ready to be put on a corrective action plan, and they're looking to fire me if I don't get my act together, but I hated it. So I decided to leave. Get a contract job, 6 months. 6 months. Get extended for that contract job. And then I'm laid off 2 weeks later after my extension. So now I'm unemployed for another 2 to 3 months. While I'm unemployed, I'm broke. Bills don't stop. Now, I actually got a car on my birthday. I might put y'all on a game. Because a lot of y'all don't really know, like, I worked in a bank. This is what I'm about to tell you right about now. But, yeah, let me just go into it. Yeah. So I was unemployed for 3 months, and I kept applying, and I applied to, with this new experience, this banking experience I got from the contract job. Watch this. I was able to get a job at PNC. This is kind of like, not the climax, but this is a very crucial point in my job line, my job history. This job was very important because it opened me up to be able to milk my resume and experience to other financial jobs. It wasn't quite as polished as it needed to be yet, but having PNC Bank and Morgan Stanley on my resume, Morgan Stanley as a contract, PNC Bank as an actual job, they hired me as a banker. Having that on my contract would help me out for the next couple of years. Now, not in a good way, because I still end up getting fired once after this. Was unemployed for like a month after this, and also laid off again after this one more time. And then we're up to this where we are now, where I'm working, and I've been working here a year, and I just got extended for another 6 months, but I'm still on the contract. So, but watch this. PNC on my resume looks good. PNC I applied to on their website. I applied to PNC on their website, and I actually got the job this time. I got somebody to call me. They said they were interested. It wasn't easy because I was applying to a bunch of, it was like when I wasn't even taking PNC that serious. Like, honestly, I was applying so many jobs. Like, I was just duking them out. PNC called me back. Lady called me back, said she was interested in the interview. I did the interview. I did it well. I want to talk about like interview skills real quick. I want to do a whole nother video on that, but that's a different thing. Interview skills. What do you do when you get an interview? And what if you also don't have a car to get to your interview? Because a lot of y'all don't, I know. You gonna have to Uber it. Damn, you need money to get money there. You gonna have to Uber it. You gonna have to have somebody take you there. You gonna have to drive a bike. Do something. I know it's hard. Walk. If it's in close distance and you can walk. Start early so you're not running. Way early. But do that. Or see if you can just pitch a bus. Or don't do a hitchhiker. Don't do like, hey. No. Whatever. Find a way to get to the interview. Find a way to get to this place. If you could preferably do it over the phone. Everything after the pandemic has been on the phone. I actually did my interview over the phone. So I talked to the lady. Read up on the business and the job before you have the interview. I don't know how to ask. I got like, that'll help you out so much. You don't even really got to know the skills. You can they're going to ask you about your previous experience, right? You already know this. They're going to ask you about your previous experience. For some of y'all that don't know this, though, they'll ask you about your previous experience. I don't care if you're a cashier. I don't care if you're a busboy. If you read up on the job before you have the interview, you can milk your previous experience to the role of the job you're applying for or having the interview for. Now, if you're a busboy and you applying to a banker position, don't try to BS them because they'll catch BS. But just let them know you can do the job. Interview skills, what I would recommend is, hey, bro, when you're talking to the person for an interview, be confident, answer their question directly. Try not to say, I don't know something. Say we haven't used that much in my experience. Say we haven't quite, or I'm not familiar. Try not to say I'm not familiar. Just say that hasn't come up that much in my previous job experience or something like that. If there's a skill or something on there that they're asking you don't have, okay? Do the interview. Don't try to sound overconfident. Don't sound cocky, because I've done that before where I've said, oh, yeah, and when I get the job, blah, 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 blah. And they after the last round of the interview, they let my butt. I was doing well until I said that, okay? That was the last time I heard from them, okay? But then don't undersell yourself either. Sound confident and be sure. If you got to take a second to breathe before you answer each question, or if you just got to be real with them, hey, I'm kind of nervous. Can I think real quick? Do that, okay? But read up on the job before you get it, before you have the interview. You have to have a game plan when you going in there. Don't overthink it. I don't want you to overthink the interview. Don't overthink it. Because I know some people practice interviewing before they have an interview. Don't do that. Don't have your mom and dad sit down with you and talk with you. I don't think you should do that. You know why? Because sometimes you practice, and then when you get to the real interview, they give you a question that threw you off. And you're like, damn, my mom didn't say that. Well, duh. Okay? Don't do that. Just be yourself. Talk about your experience and try to apply your previous experience. Anything you have. I don't care if you don't have experience. If you was digging holes in your backyard, see how that can relate to the banker position, okay? I applied to PNC. I did well in the interview. Okay? So, then, after I got the job, or after I got past the interview phase and they said they wanted me for the job, this is where the negotiation part. This is right after you've been accepted for the job. You want the parameters for your negotiation to be brought up. Meaning, watch this. I got the job. They said I got it. And, or they said they wanted me and that they would give me a call and that they would offer me a letter. Give me an offer letter, send me an email. This is why you need an email. Because that's how they're going to communicate with you. After I got the job, they were about to send me my offer letter, and they told me what the salary was. Okay. They tried to give me a very low salary, right? That's kind of, it's not all companies do this, but a lot of them do this where they try to give you the bare minimum for that position. This is why you have to do research on the job. Do research on the job before you have the interview. Look up, bruh. I'm helping y'all. I'm trying to listen to me. I know this is a 40-minute video. Dang, this is 40 minutes. Look up the position average salary for this position online. If you're a cook, type in average salary for a cook nationwide. If you're a administrator or a receptionist, type in average salary for a receptionist at your company or at nationwide or in the state of Maryland or in the city of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Type in your position. Look at what the position entails, meaning what do you do for that position to make sure that they're parallel. And then look at the average salary so you can have some knowledge on what you should be asking for. Don't leave it up to them to try to give you the salary that you want. You have to ask for it. The worst they can do is say no. If they offer you $32,000, my pops told me usually you probably from job to job, you're probably only going to make a $5,000 to $10,000 increase. It's very rare, but that's not everybody. Some people go from one job to the next and they've jumped from $50,000 to $80,000. They made $30,000 more dollars annually, yearly, not per month. Because I don't. If y'all doing that, call me up. I need to be taking your videos advice. Call me up. Okay, so look up the salary, average salary for that position. I'm gonna try to wrap this up a little bit, but I'm trying to give y'all everything. Then they offer you $32,000. Ask them for $36,000. Now, my situation with PNC, they wanted me to work the $32,000 position, but I was like, no, I'm actually trying to get closer. I'm trying to get closer to 40. This was like one of my first jobs, right? And she said, we don't have a 40. We don't have a 40 position. And then she said, but we do have a 36, right? $36,000 in Maryland ain't nothing, but it's enough to get you by, right? It's enough to get you by struggling, okay? Okay, that's $36,000, nigga. If you have rent, that's nothing. Okay, but 36, it's enough, okay? Ask for 38. Okay, $38,000. Ask for you're using what they give you and what you already know to negotiate a salary that is pleasing. You can't highball, but you also don't have to lowball. And that's what knowledge of what the position salary is will do for you. Try to give me a $32,000. I said, nah, I want 40, really. I was making blah, blah, blah my last job. I want 40. Said we don't have 40. They said they got a 36. So they changed my position. I got hired for the 32 job. They changed my position. I got a 36. They changed my position to the 36 job. And I said, okay, this is doable. But I still really want 40. Can we do 39? And she even laughed because she was like, the lady that was the recruiter or the hire for this, she even laughed. She's like, you know what? I like your persistence, and I think that you have experience. You're very articulate. I like your personality. I'll see what we can do. I got a call. She hangs up the phone. She said she'll call me back. She hangs up the phone. Calls me back. He says, okay, Michael, well, we can't do 39. We can't do 40. I've talked to the guy, the head, the recruiter, the boss of the recruiter, the person looking for the job from a big standpoint, meaning they looking for a bunch of people like me. He says with his experience, we ain't giving him that. He says, we're not giving you no 38. I mean, we're not giving you no 39. We're not giving you 40. You don't have that type of experience. But we'd be willing to give you 38. And there's benefits that come over the course of time if you doing good with sales, yada yada yada. Since I knew at that point they weren't going any higher, they weren't budging. They weren't going to budge anymore, and I didn't want to lose the job. Keep in mind, they don't know what experience you've had in the past. They don't know your situation. You got to go in these areas, like these situations. You have to go into it not desperate. Don't seem desperate, like, oh, if I don't get this job, my whole family's gonna die. Like, you know what I mean? I need this job. I need this money. I know you do. I did, okay? So I know some of y'all, I did with parents, and I know some of y'all really need it, but don't show them that, okay? Don't go in it too any high. I don't really need this job. If y'all ain't giving me no 4,000, I don't know. I might have to look elsewhere. No. You need the job. You don't need it to the point where if you don't get this job, you're going to die, and it's the end of the world if you don't get this one from them. Nah, there's plenty of PNCs. There's all types of businesses that are looking for people to work for them. Having said that, you want to be smart in how you handle yourself when you're getting hired. I accepted the position for the 38 because I knew they wasn't going to go any higher, and they went up for me from their initial offer. That's negotiation, brothers and sisters. That is negotiation, okay? Do that. Boom. When you talk to a recruiter, you have to do the same thing, okay? Recruiters are there to find out what your experience was, find out what your previous salary was and your education is, find out what kind of job you want to work in, and then look at what kind of job you want to work in and what industry that job is in. And then look at the what you want, what you're asking for, your demand, and then see if they have a client. Their client is you, but their client also actually, the more important client is actually the companies. That's what the recruiter set up to do. A recruiter has an arsenal of companies that they have at their disposal that hit them up, that say, "Hey, we need to fill in an employment. We need to fill in an employment spot. We need somebody hired for this position." They look at what they have in front of them and see if they can find a match. Get you a recruiter. You need a recruiter. After you get a recruiter, get you a second recruiter. After you get a second recruiter, get another recruiter. Okay? Okay? Boom. Honestly, that's like, I feel like I gave y'all a lot of game for like the first video, and it's already at like, it's about to be 50 minutes. I don't want it to be that long. It's already long enough. But I think I'm gonna make a second part 2 of this. I'm not even gonna edit this. I just kind of like, I think I'm just letting this one drop. So I went over 4 things you need to get a job: email, resume, and a recruiter. Those are all free things. Those are 3 things that are absolutely free. The 4th thing is a phone number. This is why I said the phone number part is important. When you finally get the job, how are they going to contact you? They're not going to do everything by email. When they want to interview for you, they're not going to hit you up by email. They'll hit you up by email and say, "Hey, we want to set up an interview." Or they might even send a Zoom call you, so you can do it if you got a laptop or you're on a public computer. You can do a Zoom call for your interviews. Now they're getting all digital and stuff because of the pandemic. You know, you can't have everybody come in, but you need a phone number because at some point in the onboarding process, at some point in the time that you're trying to get this job, you got to call, somebody's got to call you. Might be the good news. "Hey, we really liked your resume and your interview went really well. We want to hire you." You need a phone number to call you. So If you ain't got a phone, use your house phone. If you ain't got a house phone, you give them your sister's phone, your aunt's phone, your mother's phone, your father's phone. Or if you ain't got no family, give them your cousin's phone. If you ain't got no family members and you're poor and you don't got a phone, this is hard. Go to the library and give them the library phone. Leave your name at the receptionist desk at the library and said, I actually gave them the library number. I would tell them, actually, depending on who's at the library, you might have if it's a younger kid, they might help you out. If it's an older person, or I don't know, depending on how compassionate the person at the library is, I wouldn't tell them that you're homeless or you don't have nothing, and that you had somebody call their phone number. But just say, I just don't tell them, don't be like, find somebody you could trust at the library, basically. Don't go in there looking crazy. Don't frighten them. Don't let them profile you either. Give them the library number and say, hey, I don't got a phone right now. I gave them the library number. I'm supposed to have a job, an important job. Call me here. That's the best thing. That's the best info. I'm not in your situation, so I don't know. I really don't know. That's the best piece of advice I think I can give you for not having a phone. And all 4 of those pieces of advice were free. You can do all these for free. And this is free game. I ain't charging you for none of this. Okay? So I guess I'll end with the rest. This is going to be damn near an hour. I'll end with the rest. After I had the PNC job, I worked there as a banker. I worked there for a year. I was doing well. This was during the pandemic. Matter of fact, the pandemic hit. I think 2 months after I started working there. So I was in training still. To be a banker, it takes a while. They train you as a teller first. Kind of. I was basically a bank teller. They train you. And this is during the pandemic. Let me explain something to you, my guy. The pandemic was the craziest thing ever. They threw me on the front lines, right? I didn't really have no experience. I had to learn everything on that job. But I had a job. That's the main point. Matter of fact, some of you will get furloughed in certain cases. That was one of the times where, while everybody else was struggling, I was an essential worker being a banker, because even though everybody's struggling, they still all have bank accounts. Rich people aren't. There's a lot of people that aren't struggling. You need somewhere to put your money, or you need somewhere to go to talk about how to get more money, or you need somewhere to have the little money that you do got to hide it, or you know what I mean? Banks were always open. So that's why I say always look towards the finance and accounting field. Finance and accounting, those jobs will always be there no matter what. When everybody else is struggling, every other industry is struggling, a finance and accounting job will always be there, because people are always going to be looking for more money. They need people to manage their money. They need people to tell them how to get more money. And they need people to tell them how to save their money. So finance and accounting jobs will always be there. And what we have now, I'll tell you about the accounting field specifically. Accounting positions are shortage. There's a shortage around the U.S., around the world, actually. So they're even going as far as to hire people that don't have no accounting experience whatsoever, don't have an accounting degree whatsoever, don't even have a degree. And honestly, you don't really, you need, it helps. You should have some kind of accounting experience and knowledge before you join a job like that. But a lot of the stuff that they teach, they can teach you, on the job. You just got to learn how to use Excel. Your Excel skills got to be up top. Get your Excel skills up top notch. Get your Microsoft skills up top notch. And be able to... My problem sometimes is comprehension with instruction. I'm one of those people, I forget a lot. And also I'm a visual learner because I'm more creative than I am technical. Take good notes. Have those notes with you. Listen to what people say, and take that knowledge, take your notes and read them over and practice what they taught you at home. If you can. Practice, learn Excel. If you don't learn Excel, learn whatever system is right in front of you that they show you. Learn it. Be good. As soon as you get this job, put it on your resume, okay? Put it on your resume. And again, what did I tell you earlier? When you get a job, as soon as you get a job, you should be a couple weeks in before you start looking for another job. Now, you don't have to necessarily apply to the other job you're looking for, but you should be putting this on your resume, because putting this the experience on your resume immediately, and then what I call prospecting, or looking out possibly for other jobs that you can get with your newfound experience. That way you are never jobless. I will say this. Should I go into the whole animal analogy? As a person that you watched Lion King before, everybody wants to, they teach you they brainwash into you as a kid that you got to be the king. You got to own everything. You got to be the owner. You got to be the top dog. You got to be the one that is in control of your own fate. You aren't a lion. Let me just tell you right now. Lions are rich people. Lions are ruthless. They're rich people that are ruthless, that control their own destiny, that can hire, that got other people working for them to continue to get rich. You're not a lion. And if you are, God bless you. If you can get to that status, God bless. I am all for you to get up there. But let's erase that lion mentality away from your mind. Also, to some of my brothers, to everybody, but also to some of y'all, I don't want y'all to be a hyena. You know what hyenas do? Hyenas, when they are struggling, hyenas steal. Hyenas are basically symbolic for criminals. Hyenas are people that see other people eating and they just take it. They don't have no integrity, no regards for nobody else. They just steal because they hungry. And I respect the fact that they are hungry and they feel like they have to do whatever they could to survive. But you really don't have to be a hyena. You don't gotta steal to survive. Even at the bottom. I get it. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know what y'all dealing with if you really at the bottom, if you really struggling. But then even the gutter and in the trenches, there's opportunity. The opportunity's smaller, but it's still opportunity. Don't be a hyena. Pull every type of resource and every connection you got, relationship you got, band together with all that you can and all who you can to not be a hyena. You are a cheetah. And I want to explain to you, that's my favorite animal. I want to explain to you why you have to have this mentality, what a cheetah represents. In a world full of vicious hyenas and lions, a cheetah is somebody who is struggling, but also knows how to get to the meat. He's struggling, pause, not to be homophobic. He's struggling. He's somebody who knows how to get their bag, who knows how to eat. He's always, or she's always moving. That's the difference between a cheetah and a hyena and a lion. Cheetahs move more, they cover more ground than hyenas and lions combined. They're constantly moving. They are constantly looking for a bag and expanding and trying to get, not really expanding their territory, but more so covering ground. They're not like the lions where they got huge territories. You're a cheetah. You just covering ground, meaning as soon as you get something to eat over here, You gonna travel on the other side of the safari to get something to eat over there. Okay? Being a cheetah in the workplace, in the corporate world, is just a synonym for you being shifty. Okay? You looking for another job before you get fired or laid off is smart. That's called being a cheetah. That's called being shifty. You're bracing for the fact that you might be hindered, but you're already prepared because your mindset is already to move. You only go into a job with the intention of going there to learn and gain some experience for a little while in order to get another job which pays more, in which it gives you more experience for you to go to another job. You get what I'm saying? So you always are shifty, you always moving. Be a cheetah, okay? Stop trying to be a lion and don't be a hyena. Be a cheetah. I'll end with saying I had my PNC job, and after I had the PNC job, boom, I got that on my experience. I won't go into details too much, but basically I ended up leaving there after a year. I put in my 2-week notice, actually. And I went to a credit union. And they tried to get me as a teller over there. I hated this credit union. I've had 2 jobs that I hated the most. It was the first job and this job that I had, that job that I had at the PNC. Man, only lasted for a few months. This job I got fired from, okay, because I hated it so much. It was depressing. I didn't want to be a damn teller for a federal credit union, especially as one like this. This is like old. I didn't feel really welcome. I was depressed during this time period. I wasn't feeling it. I worked there for like 4 to 5 months. And I was coming there late every day. I was taking long lunches. I just hated it. I hated it. I'm sorry. I hated it. I still hate it. I would go to work every day thinking, damn, am I really going to be doing this for the rest of my life? So I would wake up the next day and come into work. And it wasn't like I was just coming into work late on purpose. It was just like, I was literally trying to come there on time, but like 5 minutes Monday, 15 minutes another late the next day. Like I'm trying my best, but it's just like I'm not going to kill myself over a job I hate. That's one thing I'm not going to do. But at the same time, wherever you go, try to do your best. Don't be showing up late and don't be half booty in your job. Do your best. Well, I hated this one though, and they actually fired my butt. I couldn't get it together because I didn't have any enthusiasm for this one. I got fired, and this is when I was out again for another two months, I believe. During this period is when I realized how important not just having one recruiter was, but having not only 2 recruiters, but 3 recruiters, okay? So I always had people looking for me, looking for a job, even though I wasn't having success myself. I was so broke during this time period because all my bills were still coming in. I lived with my parents. They didn't know I got fired from the other job. So I'm faking going into work every day. Barely no money for 2 weeks. I ran out of funds. I literally pulled out they have the PNC job actually afforded me a 401k plan. So basically, like, for those that don't know, a 401k is like money that goes towards your retirement. I had retirements worth for a year. I was flipping as much funds as I can, bro. I had a few dollars from DistroKid for my music. I had a 401k that from the PNC. There was quarters and coins in my drink compartment in my car. I'm going through the trunk looking for nickels. Like, I was so broke that it got down to the point where I only had $11, and that was supposed to last me until I get another job. Like, and there's no job. The recruiter was working, and that's the thing about recruiters. Recruiters take time to get you a job too. But recruiters take time to get you a job too. But you still got to eat while you waiting for them to get you a job. So I had $11 last me 2 weeks. I would go to the library. Like I said, I got a family, so I had a home somewhere to stay at night. But during the daytime, I didn't have nowhere to go, and I didn't have no money. I didn't have no job. I didn't have no food. At the $11, I would go. Like, I would get like I would get like $1. I get like $2 meals from like 7-Eleven, or like try to milk something off the dollar menu at McDonald's or something. I'm like really broke, struggling at this point. It got to the point where I had $2.32 left. And I'm going to let y'all in on a trick. Keep in mind, all these places, going to the library, it was gas money. I have a car. Going to the library was gas money. I only had $2 left, and it was supposed to last me for 2 weeks. That $11 I had chopped down on because I went to Taco Bell. I went to 7-Eleven. These were like basically these very tiny, small meals. I got like a $5 box from Taco Bell, which was stupid. It was $5. I was like, damn, bro, this gotta last me for This gotta last me for the next couple weeks. I got a $5 meal. I can't do that. Next day, I went to 7-Eleven, got like some cookies for $1.36 or something. McDonald's, a McChicken and a half. A McChicken and a small fry for $2. So I got down to my last $2.36. I'm gonna let y'all in on a trick. This is to buy you time. When you're low on gas and you need to fill up your car and you don't have any money, but you have a little bit of money, gas stations only need $1 to process your transaction. If you have $2 in your account, but you don't have more than $2 and you want to fill up your whole tank, you can do it. They'll only charge $1 on your card. It takes a while for the gas station to process that transaction. And then you can fill up your whole tank. My tank was like $50 during that time. I filled up my whole tank, so I at least had gas. At least if I didn't have nothing else, I had gas for the next whole couple weeks. They don't charge you for the gas until the transaction processes. So yeah, after like 5 days, when the gas finally processed, I had that net negative balance of -$36, -$50 from my account. But it kept me alive driving for the next couple of days because I processed it, right? Boom. So I got gas. I got a car. I don't got no more food though. And I'm faking going to work every day when I don't have a job. Luckily, I still had a phone. But this time, my dad was helping me with my phone bill. If you can get to a library, you can get on a free computer. You can get on your emails, and you got your resume with you. You can do something. I was sending emails left and right to jobs. I was sending emails to recruiters left and right. And I was calling recruiters left and right while I did not have a job after the PNC, after the Tower and PNC job, the Federal Credit Union job. They got me some temporary contracts and I worked for them. That helped me when I did not have any money, when I did not have any job at all, when really I wasn't getting help from my parents outside of living in their house, because they didn't know I didn't have a job, and I was going to ask them for no money. When you are down and out, get you an email, your resume, and a recruiter, and make some phone calls. Now, I'm going to leave some links to the recruiting agencies below, so y'all have something to go to, but that is the first step. I know this video was long, but I wanted to give you that. And I'll tell you more about my history after, because now I'm doing a lot better than I was. I don't have that same job security. I'm an accountant now, or I do accounting work. I don't have that same job security, and I ain't balling. I think a lot of y'all think, that I'm balling because of basically what I'll be doing on social media. But basically, I'll be fake flexing on social media so you would listen, okay? Y'all don't listen unless y'all don't listen to nobody that ain't making money or at least look like they got it. I mean, dang, if I would have been like poor making this video, this video would get 2 views. This video, y'all probably not even gonna watch it now, but I'm just saying, like, there's somebody out there that will watch this video. Do your thing. Get you a recruiter. I'm doing a little better now, but having somebody look for a job for you while you don't have nothing is like having another person on your team. Get you a recruiter, get you another recruiter, get you another recruiter, and if you got to get you another recruiter, okay? So people can look for a job for you. It's their job to get you a job, and you will have offers coming in as opposed to trying to apply online or whatever ways you try, asking people for favors, whatever, going into businesses. You'll have somebody looking for you and offering you job openings, right? While you don't have anything. That's why this is very important, okay? Yeah, that's the first video. I'm gonna give y'all more game because I feel like I didn't want this video to be that long, but like I said, I had to give y'all some game. I had to push y'all on. Hit me up if y'all got any questions. I'm probably gonna do another video soon. Yeah. Love y'all. Stick to it. Be safe. That's all. Mike Fulahope out.